go in and ask if they have a job for me. And my mother-in-law said, why do you want to work? I said, because I want to be active. I don't want to be home. And, you know, my mother-in-law was very religious. She was taking me every other day to church to do the novena in the afternoon. I mean, I was religious. I was, I believed it. And then, but for me, a young age, it was too much religion. I want to do something with it. Especially after the instructions and the lesson I had from my father. I want to be conclusive. So I went in and I said, in very perfect Italian, vorrei parlare con il direttore. And they all start looking at me, where she come from? And finally I went upstairs on the second floor and I saw this Mr. Lucosi with his eye on his nose like me. And he says, what can I do for you, young lady? And I said, you know, Mr. Lucosi, I just arrived from Rome. I am, you know, I am a school teacher. I can type, I can write English and in Italian. I said, would you be able to use me as a secretary? He said to me, you know, I already have a secretary, but you know what, give me your name and phone number, and if I need you, I will call you. Guess what, after 2 weeks he called me. But at that time, Mr. Lucosi, even if it was Lucosi Travel, was not really a travel agency. Was a notary public. He was doing a lot of immigration documents for the Italians, for the immigrant, that they were doing their petition to bring their spouses, their children here in the United States. And many of these people got to know me when I started working for Mr. Lucosi. And you know, they were telling, I noticed that many of them didn't know how to write or read. I felt very, very sorry for them, you know, and I wanted to be helpful, and I wanted to try to help them and give them some hope. And they would come in and say, how is my pratica? Is anything from the immigration? And I would say, no, we did not receive any notice yet. And they, you know, they were telling me each one had a very bad story, a very sad story. But anyway, I started meeting a lot of Italian immigrants. And I was very nice to them. I was listening to them. And many times I wrote letters for them because they didn't know how to write, to their parents or to their friends or to their cousins or their mothers or children. Then after, Lucosi at that time was paying me $35 a week. Then of course I worked for him for a while, then I expected my first son, and I would work from 9 until 3, because at 3 o'clock my mother-in-law would, she would mind my child until 3, and then after 3 she would go, she was a nurse in one of the Boston hospitals, so I would come home, take care of my son Leo, and she would go to work. Next to the Lucosi Travel, there was a bank. The Haymarket Cooperative Bank was an Italian bank. And the manager of this bank was seeing me, and he started hearing that I was so popular with some of these immigrants, because the same immigrants were going to his bank to do banking. And they were talking about this Donna Franca, because they start calling me Donna Franca for respect. Because I was so good to them, they wanted to call me Donna Franca. So the man